Thanks for listening to our daily Bible reading lesson. The lesson today is pray. You know, in our reading yesterday in the book of Nehemiah, read beginning at chapter 2, says, Hananiah, one of my brethren, came, he and certain men of Judah. And I asked them concerning the Jews that had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and concerning Jerusalem. And they said unto me, the remnant that are left of captivity there in the province are in great affliction and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem also is broken down. The gates thereof are burned with fire. Can you imagine how horrible that was to hear? Such terrible thing going on. And you can imagine Nehemiah as he would consider, what can I do? How can we go on? Should we even go on? How can this be remedied? Or do I just give up? Sound familiar? You think of all the things that we face in the world today, and people get so discouraged. They say, oh, it's terrible. There's no way that this can go on. But then if you really want to get saddened, think about what happens in the church. You think about all the things going on in the church, the attacks from without and within, the things that continue to grow as the devil gains a grasp. And we hear about these things, and people say, what can I do? How can I go on? Well, you know, we can learn a great lesson from Nehemiah. As you read through the book of Nehemiah, we'll find that Nehemiah accomplished so many great and wonderful things. But you find in the very next verse, after him hearing what he faced, what was happening to the children of God, you find something that can help each and every one of us. In verse 4, he says, it came to pass when I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. You know, you think about it. How could we even consider as God's children facing any task, especially such a great task as that, but really any task that we face, without first going to God for help? And what's the first step? Why don't we pray to God? I challenge you sometime, get your concordance out and begin to look at the word prayer, prayers, praying, and you see all of the times that those who followed God either admonished others to prayer, comforted them with the fact that they were praying for them, or themselves went to God in prayer, distraught, but knowing that God cares for us, as Peter tells us. You know, you think about the times that Jesus prayed. You think about the times that the great apostle Paul prayed. What about the times that we pray? You know, in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter and verse 17, it says, pray without ceasing. Doesn't mean that life is constant prayer, but it means that there's never a time in my life, never a moment in which I'm not ready to go to God in prayer, knowing of his love for me, his care, the provisions. You look and you find so many things that can assist us in that. Whenever I was in school, there was a saying that was oftentimes repeated. If it is not big enough to be a prayer, it's not big enough to be a problem. Well, if we kind of have that in mind and heart, we realize that we will, like Nehemiah, go to God in prayer. I thank you for listening. Hope you have a great day. Don't forget to pray. Thank you again for joining us in this Bible study. We remind you, if you'd like to follow along in our daily Bible reading, the link below in the description of this video will give you the PDF so you can read right along with us. If you have any other questions or if you'd like information on a Bible study, contact us with the information provided on the screen before you.